Yo, what's up? I'm Smith, Herbie Games, yada yada. Today we're talking about Black Ops 4. The PC beta is currently live, and I played it a bit yesterday. I've played a few hours of the game, and I just kind of wanted to stop by, give my thoughts on it, really. So, first of all, I guess my experience with Call of Duty might be relevant to this discussion. I was a big fan, as pretty much everybody was, of the Modern Warfare games, Modern Warfare 1 and 2. Didn't really care for 3 that much. And really, Modern Warfare, the first Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4, I'd say was pretty much the game that got me into online gaming. Like, I've played games all my life, and multiplayer gaming has kind of always been what I've been about. Whether that was just like playing GoldenEye and split screen on the N64 when I was a kid or whatever. But I picked up a used Xbox 360 pretty much just to play Call of Duty 4 with a few of my mates that had the game, and we spent like hours on it. And then Modern Warfare 2 came out, and that was like peak Call of Duty for me and my mates. We were in school at the time, and we just basically get home from school, play COD, go to bed, unless the weather was quite nice, in which case we might go outside, but even that was questionable. So Call of Duty kind of has a bit of a place in my heart, I suppose, but I just haven't really been into it recently. I played World War II, and my usual cycle with Call of Duty, the past few entries, has pretty much been to get the game, play it pretty regularly, put quite a lot of time into it for maybe a month, probably between like 2 weeks and a month, and then pretty much I just get so frustrated with it and put it down and barely ever pick it up again. And that is, I mean, I didn't even play Black Ops 3, and so this is the first COD game I've played with these like specialists in it, where they've obviously taken inspiration from, you know, your MOBA inspirations everywhere, and I don't think it's a bad thing. You know, Rainbow Six Siege, Overwatch, all your team shooters, all that sort of stuff. And there's a little bit of it in here. Actually, that's one thing I quite like, the way that's implemented. I've seen some people say they don't like it, but it really doesn't make that much of a difference. It's just kind of like a small gadget here or there. And okay, yeah, the kind of supers, if you will, the ultimates, are quite powerful, but it does give you a little bit something else to think about. And I don't think it changes the gameplay up too horrendously. The character I'm playing in this gameplay, I don't know his name, but he has like a little dart which he shoots out, and then on the radar it basically creates just a small zone on the radar which is kind of always tracking enemies that are in it. And I think he's probably my favourite one I've found so far. I find his gadget to be reliably useful, but not completely change up the way the game's played. You're still playing Call of Duty, you're still using the radar like you normally would. You just get like a little bit extra intel, especially for this game mode, which is called Control, I believe, and I'll touch on that in a sec. It's really good because you know there's going to be, the points are fixed, unlike in something like, say, Hardpoint, where it moves around. The points are fixed, so you know where to place it. So I'd often place my dart on a choke point or an entryway while I was, say, capturing or defending one of the points, and then you can remain behind cover while watching your radar without having to expose yourself, and then you know when an enemy's there. I quite like the way that played, and found that pretty useful. I've played around with a few. I think I tried each of the operators now, or specialists, whatever they're called. There may be a couple I haven't tried, and I don't know, they all play vastly the same, really. It's kind of like it's a little added element that I think if you really wanted to dive into it and you're more competitive players, maybe we'll find something for it. For your average sort of just casual COD player, it's just like a little bit extra fun, something, I suppose. As for the way the game plays, it's Call of Duty, innit? You know, it's Call of Duty. We all know what Call of Duty feels like now, and gunplay's good. Call of Duty gunplay's always good. It runs well. The PC port, like I said, I've been playing the PC version, I haven't played it on console at all. PC port's really good, runs well, a lot of options. This was only my second game that you're watching now, so you can kind of see me dicking around in the menus a little bit, so you can see the amount of options there are. And it's nice. They've put in a really decent amount of options for PC players, stuff that you don't even see in a lot of more PC-focused games, stuff like, they call it relative and legacy, but, you know, it's like a kind of adaptable ADS, excuse me, ADS modifier for your mouse sensitivity, stuff like that. You can control your mouse filtering and mouse acceleration, all this sort of stuff, which is really nice to have, and not every game does it, so it's nice to see. You know, Treyarch said that they're focusing on PC with this one, and it seems like they are, which is nice to see. They're kind of living up to their promise. And actually, the way that this PC port is optimized, I think this could be the biggest entry on PC. I think this could be a pretty big Call of Duty for PC players and Call of Duty fans. Obviously, we haven't yet seen the Battle Royale mode. They're calling Blackout, so I can't really comment on that. I mean, we will just have to wait and see. Battle Royale is obviously huge, but whether or not the genre can sustain another entry with like the giants being PUBG and Fortnite, kind of behemoths that they are, is yet to be seen. Look, this game's going to sell ludicrously well. It's Call of Duty, it always does. There is a little bit of a kind of, I suppose, backlash against Call of Duty nowadays among your more sort of hardcore gamers. You troll Reddit and stuff like that, you see quite a lot of disdain for the game, and I understand. I've gone off the game a lot. I don't know whether I've outgrown the game, whether the games have got worse, or whether it's just not for me anymore. I look for something else in my gaming experiences, and I'd say probably Black Ops 2 was the last one I really liked. I wasn't a big fan of Black Ops 1. I know that was a really popular one, but really Modern Warfare 2 was the last one I put proper time into. And like I say, it could be that I've just outgrown the franchise, or it could be that they're bad now. Who knows? But really, playing this one, it doesn't feel bad. If you like Call of Duty, you're probably going to like it. I didn't have plans to buy this game. So far, the beta hasn't necessarily changed my mind. It might be something I pick up on a sale, something like that. The thing you've got to remember, though, with Call of Duty is there's a lot of people out there who aren't on Reddit all the time, who aren't thinking really critically about these games. They're not checking, all the news sources and all that sort of stuff every day. They play like Assassin's Creed every year, they play Call of Duty every year, and they play FIFA every year, and they're going to keep doing that. And a lot of those people maybe have migrated over to Fortnite, but they're probably still going to pick up Call of Duty because it's what they know. So, yeah, maybe it doesn't sell the gangbusters it used to, but it still sells fucking gangbusters, like it's Call of Duty. So yeah, I think the time to kill has gone up considerably in this Call of Duty, and I think it's alright. My problem with it is the armor situation. There's like armor in the game now, and it feels like it takes a shitload of time just to get through the armor, and then the time to kill is quite high on top of it. So I think something could be tweaked there. But otherwise, it really does it feels like a Call of Duty game. I think if you're waiting for this to be a revival for the series, I think you're going to have to wait and see what the Battle Royale mode offers. The game mode that was in this match is called Control. That's new. There's another new game mode called Heist, but I've prattled on a little bit long now, so I will probably cover those in another video. This was just really to stop in, give my first impressions of the beta, which is that the game runs well on PC. The game feels decent. It feels like, as Call of Duty always does, but it still is that kind of catnip for ADD sufferers, basically, which is no bad thing. I think that kind of thing needs a place in the gaming industry. It's just whether or not I want that remains to be seen. I got on board with World War II last year because I felt like it was returning back to the kind of style of Call of Duty that I used to love, and I got a lot of nostalgia. I remember playing the beta, and it felt like playing like COD 4 again to me, and I got quite nostalgic about it, and it got me all hyped up, and I bought the game, and then me and a few friends sort of played it quite a lot to begin with, but very quickly a lot of the problems that Call of Duty has started to rear their ugly head again, and it made me realise that I don't know really what they could do to bring me back on as a player. But as I will probably talk about in another video this week, Heist may be the thing. If they've got anything, it could be Heist. There are a few issues with the game mode, I think, but it's promising, and we'll talk about that another time. So thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.